Joan Quinn, a member of the California Arts Council and Beverly Hills Arts Commission, is the former West Coast editor of Andy Warhol's Interview magazine and society editor of the Herald Examiner. Her cover stories can be read in Venice and Detour magazines, and she is a contributing editor to California Apparel News. For the next half hour, Joan will bring you inside news and views on society, art, film, and the exhilarating worlds of these multifaceted people. Here is Joan Quinn.
Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and welcome to Joan Quinn, Etc. We have a great show for you today. We have actress Denise Nichols, and we have the design team of Badgley, Mischka, two boys from New York. But let's talk to Denise. Denise Nichols, who isn't satisfied with just being an actress, has started writing plays. She wrote a play about civil rights, which premiered at the prestigious Crossroads Theater in New Jersey. And she wrote Odessa, an episode for In the Heat of the Night. Denise is a regular on the TV series playing opposite Carol O'Connor. With your interest in writing and developing all these projects, will we lose you as an actress?
I hope not. I mean, I want to do both. I really want to try to balance the two things. I don't think that there's ever, well, every now and then there's enough work for an actress to stay really busy all the time. But generally speaking, you have a lot of downtime. You have time when in between projects, and that time is, to me, golden time, and I use that time to write.
Do you just write things for yourself?
In fact, I write very little for myself. I saw my play being done. I think when I first started writing it, I saw myself in one of the roles, but when it got down to a full professional production, I thought, I don't want to be on the stage. I want to sit back here as the writer and look at this, and it was incredible. And the same thing with the episode of In the Heat of the Night, Odessa. I'm in it, but in a very small way. So.
Is that the character?
No,
what is your character?
My character is Harriet DeLong. She's a city councilwoman, and it was a character that Mr. O'Connor created and put in the show about two and a half years ago. So I also have a relationship with him, a personal relationship with him on the show, his character, Chief Gillespie. So what he's done is he's created this interracial relationship and this kind of older man, younger, not that young, younger woman
yes,
relationship in this small southern town, and it creates a certain amount of interest and drama and conflict.
Did you ever think of going into politics? Like this role? Did you? I mean, it's really a political person, isn't it?
I'm much too crazy to go into politics. Or maybe that's a requirement.
Do you think you could get votes? That's the thing.
I doubt it. I doubt it. I'd never keep my mouth shut. I'd never say the right things. Oh, God, it would be awful.
We have a clip from Odessa, the episode that you wrote. Yeah. How long is the show?
Each show is an hour.
Is it
48
an hour?
minutes. Yeah, an hour.
So let's look at the clip. Do you want to set it up?
Well, this is very near the opening of the show, and Odessa is the name of a woman. Her name was really Mrs. Odessa Robbins, who had been the first black woman to try to register to vote in this fictional town, Sparta, Mississippi, in the 60s. Okay, so the civil rights movement happened, time passed, time passed, time passed. Nobody has ever honored this woman. No one has ever done anything to kind of put her up like a Rosa Parks kind of character. So in the city council, the backstory is my character has moved this thing through the council to honor this woman who was the first black woman to try to register to vote. And her name is Mrs. Odessa Robbins. So the show opens with us getting ready to go to the first part of the celebration honoring this woman, which will be at a church, and then there'll be a thing at City Hall, and then events happen that stop it.
So we'll see you in Odessa.
You see me and Mr. O'Connor.
Yes, from In the Heat of the Night.
Good morning, Harriet.
Hi. You following us in your car?
No, I've got some police business. I won't be making it to the church.
Oh. Well, the parade and the presentation is the main thing. You gonna be on time for that?
Harriet, is there anything I can do to make you cancel this parade?
I told you before. No, I can't.
What do you mean you can't? What would you do if it rained?
March in the rain. It wouldn't be the first time.
Why won't you listen to reason?
When you say listen to reason, you want me to do the wrong thing.
That's silly.
It's true. I couldn't cancel it now, even if I wanted to. People are ready to go.
You are beautiful and very fiery.
Yeah, I am.
You can't tell you what to do. How did you get started in show business?
Actually, I was at the University of Michigan, and I was doing the civil rights movement, and I wanted to go south, but I wanted to be somehow in the arts, and there was a theater starting called the Free Southern Theater, and I applied to go there as an apprentice, and I went there for a year, 2 years. Then I went to New York, and I worked at the Negro Ensemble Company for its first professional season, and that's where I was cast for the series Room 222 when I was doing that.
How did you get into the Negro Ensemble Company?
Auditioned like everybody else.
Was it hard?
Yes, it was.
How many people did they take?
Oh God, they had auditions that went on for weeks. And that first company, the first 15 members of that company really put that theater on the map, and that was Moses Gunn, Rosalind Cash, Esther Roll, myself, Judy Ann Elder, and a couple of other names that haven't gotten as well known in television.
So they just took a small group, put the ensemble together, and I was going to ask you what kind of people you were up against auditioning, but it looks like they were all different.
Oh, it was incredible. It was incredible. And the same for Room 222, that first role that I got on television was, that show was created by James Brooks and produced by Gene Reynolds. And they auditioned nationwide for the role. I mean, that was one of the first shows that had a black woman in a co-leading role in a career. I was a guidance counselor, and Lloyd Haynes was the history teacher, and Karen Valentine and Michael Constantine. So they did an incredible
breakthrough, didn't they?
Yeah, it was a great show. It was a great show, and they did a lot of auditioning, and they did personality tests.
Oh, did they?
Oh my God, it was incredible. You just stand and look at the camera and talk.
And then they saw if you got along?
Yeah, they kind of see how you would be as a salesperson, really, because you had to do so much promotion, those promotion tours and stuff. They don't really do that as much anymore.
What was one of the things that you learned at the ensemble that you've taken with you all through your career? Are there certain things that stand out?
There were many things, but there are two categories of things. There would be those things that you learned, or I learned as a performer, that came from the dance classes, the voice classes, and the acting classes that we had. And there are bits and pieces of those classes that I have never forgotten, and they're breathing exercises, voice exercises, all those things I still do from way back in the 60s. The other thing was a sense of professionalism and a kind of fierceness, because it was so competitive and so demanding that you had to reach inside yourself and ask for the extra amount to get through it and to get it done and to be, to really do it well. So it was very difficult. It was a extremely beautiful and difficult experience that I constantly refer back to.
Did you think about just being on stage? Was that the idea of the ensemble, doing stage pieces?
Yes, and I was the first one to break ranks and run for television.
Well,
and I got ostracized. I really got ostracized. It was like, you're destroying my company.
Well, that's what I was wondering, because then you just went into TV and you just kept going.
Yeah. I'm glad I made the choice that I made, because I could go back and do plays at Crossroads or somewhere else. But it seemed to me that when things started to happen and black actors started to work a little more in television in the 70s, in the early 70s, that it would have been the best of all possible worlds to be able to do both. To go to California and do a TV show or a guest, and then come back to New York and bring all of that you then get, because you get the notoriety, you get the exposure on the tube, and bring that to the theater so the audiences want to see you, but they didn't see it that way then. They eventually did.
They really didn't. So they
made me pay dues, honey. I paid serious dues.
They didn't think you were learning anything out here?
It was like, empty head town. It was like, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to be a serious artist. You're not supposed to do TV. So.
But that was a different thing then. Now
everybody does everything now.
Right.
Yeah.
And don't you think it makes you more well-rounded?
Oh, definitely. I love going from one discipline to the other.
What kind of work in film have you done?
The last film that I did was with Cosby, was Ghost Dad. And before that, I had done 2 other films with him and Sidney Poitier, Let's Do It Again and A Piece of the Action, and some other little known things over the years. I never was able to get going the kind of film career that I wanted to have when I first started out. You know, the bulk of my work for sure has been television. So.
Do you see yourself more in films?
You mean in the future?
Yes.
No, not at this point. I mean, you know, your age goes up and your stock goes down as far as feature films go. So, no, I mean, I'd love to, but I just don't see it as a real possibility.
You went to the University of Michigan, you said, and then you came out to California and lived in Los Angeles and went to USC. How did you choose the University of Southern California?
I chose that school because of the writing program they offered. They had a professional writing school there, and I wanted to start this transition from just actress to actress-writer. So I went over there and took some writing classes and kind of got involved and met people and decided to go on and finish my undergraduate degree and start graduate school. So that's what I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, you finished there and got...
Definitely. I graduated in 1987.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's a hard haul
Yeah,
to go
is.
back and
It
do
is.
that. And it's a persevering person who can do that. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you obviously think education is important. Do you think it shows with your contemporaries or the people you work with? Can you kind of tell?
Who, you mean who
In
has
work.
some kind of
Yes,
background and who
yes.
doesn't? Well, I think what I notice mostly, generally speaking, is a confidence level. Either you've had a great work experience and a lot of positive feedback in your life's work that gives you confidence, or you've gotten a lot of education, which also gives you a certain amount of confidence. So,
Would you recommend that to actors starting out?
Yeah, I do. I do. I'm one of those people that just thinks that we should all go to school.
Think that the time involved is worth...
Definitely. Definitely.
Are you married?
No.
Do you live alone?
Yes. I'm
you-
divorced.
Do you have any little hobbies,
No,
things that keep you busy?
Writing used to be
A
my
hobby?
and as it has become more now a part of my profession, I walk around the house going, okay, Nicholas, what do we do for relaxation now? Besides read books, you know, and go to the gym to exercise. So I do flowers and my roses and tomatoes.
Clifford, aren't
and I
Cliffords-
ate the first tomato out of my tomato garden
Oh.
yesterday, and it's great.
Oh, that's
so that
good.
sort of thing. And travel. I like to
You
travel.
like to travel?
Mhm.
Clifford Miller does our flowers.
It's
You can
pretty.
grow a garden like that.
We have the same hairdresser.
I know. Should we say hello to them?
Yes.
Let's say hello to the boys at Menage a
Menage a
Trois.
Trois.
You say hello first.
Hello to Thomas.
And hello to William. And they made us both look great today. So, do you have any other secrets? You told our secret about the boys at Menage a Trois.
Oh, they're so wonderful.
Do you have any other secrets that nobody out there knows about?
No, not that I want to tell.
Well, if you're not going to tell us any secrets, we're going to have to wait till you come back again.
All right.
And maybe we'll start reading some of the tabloids and see if there's
Oh, see if
something
they
you didn't
could,
tell
yeah.
us.
Maybe they will come up with something this year.
Thanks, Denise
Thank you.
Nichols. Thanks for being with
Great.
us, and good luck.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. So keep tuned and don't go away. Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and we're back with Joan Quinn, etc. We have the design team of Badgley Mischka with us, Mark Badgley and James Mischka, who live and work in New York. They're showing their collection, Badgley Mischka, at Saks Fifth Avenue in Beverly Hills. These two great-looking guys have redefined evening dressing. Now tell me, what is redefining evening dressing? Mark.
I think the evening clothes that we do, we're sort of known for doing modern couture, and it's pared down. It's more in tune to a woman's lifestyle that perhaps grew up on sportswear and doesn't wear poofy evening kind of clothes.
You both designed for sportswear people before
Yeah, we
you.
both
did.
And do you still design sportswear, James?
No, we really do. We do some daytime things now, but they're really kind of real lunchy ensemble. They're not like mix and match at all.
Well, how did you come out of the sportswear into evening wear? I mean, it's just like so bizarre, isn't it? It's so different.
Actually, when we worked for sportswear, like I used to work for Donna Karan, I sort of focused a little bit more on the dressier parts of the collection. And we like evening wear. The collection now actually is about 50-50 day to evening, but we're sort of a little bit more known for our evening, and it comes very easy to us. We just really like the evening portion.
What is different when you say redefine, James? What would be different, in your opinion, of what women wear in the evening? Will they still wear long dresses?
They still wear long dresses, yeah, but they wear a lot of short also. It's the kind of thing you want to be able to just get into it really fast. Like it has one zipper and you're in the dress. You can take it to the work, change it in the ladies' room, and you can go to an evening event really easily. Not everyone has a maid to get them dressed these days, so.
It doesn't have to be black, or it doesn't have to be just chiffon, or it can be...
No, it can be wool. I mean, you can have a wool evening dress. We do a lot of chiffon and sequins and lace and things like that, but we also do, like in the clip you'll see, it's like got some wool stretch evening clothes.
Well, let's see the clip, and why don't you describe what we see? We have a clip from, what line is this?
It's the Fall 92.
Fall. We'll see, Fall 92.
This is a stretch wool boucle, sort of a sweater jacket, completely unconstructed. It's piped in satin, and a big pair of real easy chocolate velvet trousers. And we designed the jeweled buttons, sort of have an antique look to them. They're crystal and pearl and gold that close these suits.
They are pretty formal looking.
They're formal. There's, yeah, parts of the collection aren't, parts of the collection are. I mean, we see a woman going to a very formal, ball even in this kind of modern look, opposed to, just a huge organza gown, that type of thing. It's just a very modern way to look for the evening.
Do you use color at all?
We do. Most of what you see here is like navy and chocolate and midnight and black, but
all mixed. Those
all
colors,
mixed, yeah. We love them all mixed
great.
together. Yeah. Well, this is for us color fuchsia. Used to be navy was a bright color for us, but we've branched out since then.
Yeah.
Well, you really broke out with that color.
This has a little slip dress in the wool boucle.
Do you take a different theme each time you do a show and then try to stick with it?
We really don't do shows. We really do just, we don't really do themes. We really just do like the clothes.
So you wouldn't be doing a show with a theme in mind or a certain inspiration.
It's not like the Polynesian collection, that kind of thing
exactly.
at all.
No, we don't really design around themes. We're sort of known for what we're doing, and we just keep sort of building on that and that type of thing.
Where do your ideas come from then?
A lot of it comes from like old Hollywood, like old Avedon photographs, old Hurrell photographs, things like that. We're really trying to get to sort of a return to glamour, but simple glamour.
Mark, you were a business major at USC. How did you then get into designing?
My heart really wasn't into it. I was in California at USC actually for a short time, and I grew up in Oregon. I wasn't really prepared to move straight to New York. I was unhappy, and I just made the change and transferred to Parsons.
Oh, is that? Oh, and you were at Rice in Houston, studying management or getting a degree in management. That certainly, in my eyes, is not very creative. How did you get to
it was useful when we were running the company and stuff ourselves, but I also went to Parsons and got a degree in design from Parsons. That's how we know each other.
Did you meet each other from school?
Yeah.
And then you both went separate ways and both went into sportswear, which is quite curious. Was there something that drew you there, or was it...
That's where jobs were.
Exactly.
That's what was happening then. Do you see any trends in the fashion field right now?
There's a whole question of length right now. Everyone's talking about the longer lengths, and we did quite a few of them for fall. We'd only done short before, and then we did some here, some to the floor. It's really a matter of options now more than anything else.
Clothes are paring down. They're not as embellished or obvious as they were like in the 80s.
But what about trends in price, say? Do you think expensive clothes are going to just be as popular as they were, say, in the 80s? I mean, with the economy and with paring down the way you're talking?
It's definitely tough when women aren't paying those outrageous prices that they were back then. Although we're in the couture departments, we're still not extravagantly expensive like a lot of the designers that we hang with. So we're not feeling that resistance, fortunately.
It's more a matter of value probably than anything else. You'll still pay money for a dress if it's like a really great dress.
Well, some of the things that we saw on the clip, say a jacket and skirt, I mean, those could be back to sportswear, mix and match, couldn't they?
Mm-hmm. They could be. It's up to the woman and her personal style.
And what kind of woman do you dress? Talk about women and their personal style. Would they take a jacket and wear it with jeans or pants during the day, or?
We would hope that they would have that sense of style, that they would be comfortable in doing that.
Most of our customers aren't the ones who just like, this is what you have to wear and this is the way that they wear it. You know, they will wear it with jeans or with someone else's clothes too. I mean, they'll take our jacket, put it with someone else's pants, that whole kind of thing.
Does that bother you?
Not at all.
Not at all.
As long as she buys the whole outfit from us, then she can switch it around whatever she wants to do.
Do you show in different parts of the world, or just New York and California, or what is your schedule?
We open the season in New York every season with a show, and then we travel around a bit. The collection travels all the time to different stores, and we do a couple shows a season now.
Do you make a lot of personal appearances?
We're starting to do more and more.
Are you shy?
I'd say we both are.
Yeah, people sort of know us for being kind of retiring.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well, how do they get you to their parties? And once they get you there, what do they do with you?
We have to make an effort.
Yeah.
You make an effort or they make an effort?
Both sides of the fence do.
But you're doing a show for Saks in Beverly Hills, and I think it's a charity event tonight.
It is. It's at the Bel Air Hotel. It's like informal modeling and cocktails, and it should be great.
It'll be beautiful.
It'll be great. And when people come up to you and ask you what you like about LA, what are you going to tell them?
The weather.
Yes.
Yeah,
driving.
Fantastic.
Do you like to drive?
Yeah.
And you?
I haven't driven in 8 years since I moved to New York. But I drove like a madman all over LA when I lived here.
Is there some special place that you like about LA?
We really like, which is so funny that we're doing the show at the Hotel Bel Air. That's like, to us, the chicest, most, gorgeous, glamorous area. That type of thing, that old Hollywood.
Did you pick it, or did it just happen to be perfect for you?
It was Sax's idea.
Was it?
Yeah.
And Mr. Bowling, do you know Frank Bowling over at the hotel? He's wonderful. He came from New York, and I think the other day when I talked to him, he said, my idea of heaven is being here at the Bel Air Hotel.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, I could move in there quite happily.
quite easily. Do you have any pet peeves,
Pet peeves.
James?
I probably have quite a few, but I don't want to talk about it.
Come on, just one little pet peeve.
Probably people who talk a lot about fashion and don't do anything.
What do you like to do when you're not talking about fashion?
We're both
That's
pretty
very-
simple. We're like, well, we would just work all the time, both of us.
Do you live together?
Mm-hmm.
And you both, I mean, do you keep each other fired up and going?
Yeah.
It's intense. Yeah, we jumped into this industry. Even though we worked for these big companies, I don't think we really realized, it's very consuming.
It is consuming, and doing a TV show is consuming, and I hope that you weren't too consumed by coming over to do this with us today.
No, it was our pleasure.
Yeah, our
But
pleasure.
Mark and James, Badgley, Mischka, congratulations on your wonderful show and the work with Saks here, and it was lovely to meet you both.
It's great meeting you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for being with us. And goodbye. That was another show on Joan Quinn, etc., and we look forward to seeing you next time.